Hi, this is Jennifer Scrapping Kane. Today I'm sharing an 8.5 by 11 layout as a guest designer for the Scraproom. And I have a 5 by 7 photo that I'm going to place on an 8.5 by 11 layout. So it's going to take up quite a bit of real estate, but I'm going to get quite a few embellishments and a nice little design going on the layout here in just a moment. First, I'm going to show you everything that comes in the kit. This is one of the flavors of the month kit. This is using Simple Stories Flower Shop, I believe is what this one's called. And it's a really nice pastel layout. There's definitely a lot of pastel colors in it, and I think it goes well with his photo. The photo was from Easter, so I didn't really want to build up on Easter since he's not really doing anything Easter. We had went for a walk in the park before everybody else got to my mom's house, and I took a few photos of him. So here I'm showing you all the little ephemera pieces that came in the kit, and Rochelle included lots of them, which I enjoy because I like to add a lot of embellishments to my layouts. There's also a few little sticky brads. They don't have the little prong on the back, they're just stickers, which I like also. And actually, I don't get any of those on this layout, but I will have another layout during the month using the kit and finishing it off. I also went and bought some more of this collection because I thoroughly enjoyed using it for the scrap room layouts. So that little bingo card in Viewmaster Reel is actually on the paper and it looks so cute. I like when Simple Stories does that. I also love this side, which is just a collage of tickets and envelopes and different little items. This one here is a brown paper with all the colors of polka dots in the background. But this side here is my favorite. I actually use both sides on the layout, which you'll see here in a moment. And then we got a little cut apart sheet that has lots of little journaling spaces. I love this sheet also. I use a little strip of this one, but not really a whole lot of it. And then 2 white cardstocks are also included in the kit. And then I also received the embellishment kit and the paper add-on kit. I always add the paper add-on kit because I love paper. I love embellishments too, but paper is my favorite. I love pattern paper. So I have this one here, which I don't use today. This one here I'm going to use as my background. And I was sure to cut off the butterflies that you see there when I trimmed down my paper to 8.5 by 11. So I still have the butterflies to use on another layout. So here you can see I have a few strips and I tore my background paper. I'm going to piece that together with you here in just a minute. First, I'm going to mat my photo on white cardstock. And I always mat my photo on white cardstock just because I think it pops a little bit better when I add all the pattern papers in the background. I think that really helps it. So then the photo I'm going to mat on the brown paper. And you can see over there to the right hand side, I have a couple of those little Polaroids already fussy cut. And everything is also inked up around the edges with chestnut brown stays on ink. I always use stays on ink for inking around the photos or inking up items just because it dries pretty quick and it also doesn't rub off. Distress oxide and some of those tend to rub off on your fingers and stuff like that. So I use the stays on, and usually I only use brown or black. That's just my preference. So here I'm lining up the paper with my grid so that I can get the border put back on, and it's going to be 8.5 by 11. So tearing up that side on the right hand side was just adding just a little something there to the right hand side. And then I have these little Polaroids, and I could have used just a strip of them, but I chose to cut them apart and ink them up to add a little bit more detail, but also because I wanted the colors in a certain order. I didn't want the blue at the very top, and I didn't want the yellow. I think it was just the blue one I didn't want all the way at the top because of where I'm going to place the title. But here's his little photo, and like I said, he was 10 years old and he was still willing to take photos for me at the moment. Pretty much probably within the next year after this photo, he was like, "No, Mom, I'm not taking photos for you no more." So I don't have as many photos of him after this one here. But here I added one of the little ephemera, like scallop borders, a little ticket, this little label, which I added some little foam stickers from my stash with his name, Maya. His name is actually Jeremiah, but we always called him Maya, so I added that. This little, this is a foam sticker that says "I pick you," so it's "I pick you, Maya." And then I added a little flower and a little heart. And then over on the right hand side, I'm going to add another little label, and I put 2008, which was the year the photo was taken, and another little foam flower and a little foam heart. And I'm going to glue those down right here. This is just adding another little cluster over here. And those little letters matched perfectly. They were from my stash, and they're like a brown wood grain. But, you know, you could really stamp or use any alphas, but I always like to add the name and the date, or at least try to. Here it says sunshine and blue skies is what my title is going to be, which I thought was kind of fitting because it definitely was sunshine and blue skies that day. Nice little day out. And it made it perfect for little Easter photos.
So I'm just adding liquid glue to make sure
I have
they
a couple
stay
of
in
other
place.
photos from the
That one
same
says
day, which I
sunshine
might
and
create
has a
an
little ampersand
additional
on it. And then I'm going to put blue
layout to
skies.
this
So
one,
sunshine
but I
and
haven't
blue
decided if I
skies,
want to leave
which
this
I
one
thought
as
was
just
kind
a
of
little
fitting for
single
him.
photo layout or
Around this age, he was
come in
still
and add a little bit more
little
with the other photos.
rambunctious
I think there's
boy,
only like 2 other
and
photos,
he
but
had
we'll see.
sunshine days and he had
And if I do,
really
I'll
blue moody
definitely be sure
days.
to add it
So
here on
he
YouTube
kept me
and
on my
also add
toes
it, you know,
as a
to my
first time
personal
mom.
YouTube
So
and
I
add it in
definitely learned
the
a lot of
Scraproom
parenting skills
Facebook
from
group,
him.
so you can check it out. So I added a little butterfly up there. I popped up the wings on play foam and glued the body down with liquid glue. So it looks like it's flying. I'm going to move that little butterfly over here to the right hand side. It just looked better over there. I don't know. I decided just to move it. I put a little pink one up at the top right under blue, and I thought it just looked better, so I just decided that little cluster over there on the left hand side didn't need a butterfly. Right here I'm just taking a black Sharpie and I am putting little stitch lines to make it look like the butterfly is flying. I just do that sometimes, but usually I don't stitch on my layouts, but I just use a little marker to make it look like stitches. And that is my layout complete. I hope you guys enjoyed today's layout. I definitely enjoyed creating it, and I have thoroughly enjoyed my scrap room kits this month. And like I said, I should have a couple other layouts throughout the month using the kits. I hope you will join me and check out the Facebook group, and definitely check out the website and pick up your own kit. I will see you in the next video. Bye.